Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital and welcome to yet another XRP video, right? It's been a while since we did these specific updates. We have covered XRP, of course, in my market updates that I did continue to do over the course of the last week. I was in Italy for a week, so that was great. But right now we're back, which is even greater, perhaps. We're going to do these full updates on XRP. It's August, right? So the momentum and just in general the price action has cooled down. But if you watch my videos, my dedicated videos on XRP before I went on vacation, you also were prepared for that, right? I mean, we already said when the price dropped down to this level right here at the end of July, that it looked a little bit like XRP was getting into the same kind of price action as where it was at the beginning of July, where we were basically just very stable, and in general also more stable than the market, with the market being Bitcoin. And I would not necessarily say that has been the same, but I do think, because I do think XRP has underperformed Bitcoin a bit, especially right here at the end of July, when Bitcoin still held its own relatively well, while XRP got a bearish breakdown. But since then, we've seen good prices or good price action, right? I mean, we dropped down into that main support level right here, which you can also see on the higher time frames is a major level. We found support at the daily trend and the 0.618 fib, which means there is still a chance open for a continuation of the uptrend, right? Purely technically, that is true. But what I told you in my middle of the day market updates is that I thought it was more likely that XRP was going to drop down into that level, find support there, which, by the way, I think you should be aware that at this point of time, the fundamentals are quite stable, right? I mean, if you look at equities, if you take a look at the Coinbase Bitcoin premium, whatever, they look quite good. But if we see a fundamental escalation, for now, I think the bottom is in, but I still think we can drop down lower into this level right here at 2.6 and 2.45 if we get some very bad news. So be aware of that. But like I said, so far, we've gotten a very strong reaction. Not with a lot of volume, but I've said that before. I mean, in August, you're going to have to make do with less volume, and less volume doesn't always mean it's bad. But we found great support so far at a very strong support level. XRP itself is also showing some signs of strength from that support level. If you go to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that we left some imbalances right here, not a lot, but those imbalances that were left are more of a show of momentum, I would say, rather than real imbalance that needs to get tested, right? I say that quite a lot as well. An imbalance is just as much an area that needs to get retested later, as it is an area that is, what is this, Nano XRP futures? Okay. As it is an area that also shows momentum. You can see so far today we got a good reaction at the 7-day rolling VWAP in the naked point of control. The major imbalance we have is around 2.87. So as long as we hold that, that's kind of my bullish line in the sand, right? During news or given fundamentals, anything, we can spike down to that level and still be fine. If we drop down below that level, I'll start to worry. But for now, I think it's most likely we are going to hold that level, and I think we're going to get some stability and more recovery, to be fair. There's some magnets to the upside as well, right? I mean, if we zoom in, yes, you can see those imbalances to the downside. If you zoom out, you can see imbalances at 3.2. You can find imbalances all the way up to 3.43. So I would say stability, some more recovery is most likely right here. Given news, we can drop down into 2.86, 2.87, but I do expect that to hold. And yes, I mean, I don't see enough momentum to break out above our main resistance level, which ultimately is all the way up to up at 3.35. So even getting there seems quite hard, but moving up a little bit higher into this fair value gap, for example, right here, that seems quite likely. Breaking above that, look, I'll be back with a new market update later today. We'll talk about that. The US sessions right now are basically the only sessions where we actually have some momentum and volume. So we'll talk about it then. But for now, I think this is what you need to know. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing my face again, and I'll see you all in my next videos. Bye.